Hello everybody, Frankie Day here for Frankie Day Models. Okay, for this joyous Wednesday afternoon, Santa Claus came to my doorstep and dropped me off a parcel from my daughter. And I was really amazed and kind of in shock, and when I got it, we'll show it to you after this video. Anyway, we'll get to that. The topic of the video is video 4 for my Roden 1/32 scale Boeing Stearman PT-17. Now, I've been on this thing for about 2 or 3 days now straight. I got it all painted up. All it is ready for assembling and decaling, and touch up here and there with paints, and just more or less just put it together. And lastly, I'll go ahead and add the steel guitar strings on there for the flying wires. I think I'll use a 10,000 instead of using an 11th. The 10,000, that'd be A flat on my pedal steel. So that'd be pretty good right there. I use that for the flying wires. We'll see that in the final reveal. Okay, on the next video of this here aircraft, it'll be all done. Finito, finished. Final reveal. I'm going to go ahead and add this on the Charlie Mac's Pearl Harbor Anniversary group build. So far on the entries I've got 1, 2, and I'll probably have a couple more. And I'll add that on there too as well. And yeah. So I can see right here in view. Yeah, I got one more left here. I got one entry here. I got that Monaghan Wildcat too. I knew I forgot that thing. It's right over there next to my Corsair. On the 1st of the year, next year, which is right around the corner, I'm going to start my F4U group build. Again, it could be any scale, any manufacturer, as long as it's an F4U bent wing bird, whistling death, whatever they call them. It qualifies for everything. And very honored to each one of you who want to enter. And if you don't, that's okay. That's fine. I understand. We all have the stuff on the table and time. Okay, we're going to get to the Stearman right now. Enough chatter, enough talk. I'll try to keep my chatter down a little bit. Got a couple of disgruntled viewers that comment, "You talk too goddamn much." I say, hey, it's a flaw of my character. So what? People like to be entertained. Nothing wrong with conversation. That's the biggest problem in this world today. No one wants to have conversation for nothing. Okay, let's conversate to this beautiful Stearman PT-17. I got it all painted. It took me about 3 hours to paint this thing. Everything was built. The top wing comes off. I just sat it there. The cabin struts all been painted using Curtis blue. Now they used different types of blues in this era. They just like the Army Air Corps, just like the Navy. They somewhat changed from aircraft to aircraft and different color liveries. Some blues were different. Well, for example, the United States Navy, when they're getting away from these colors like this, they start going to aircraft painted overall light gold gray. Then, as early as 1941, by the end of 1940, they start changing the colors to intermediate blue or non-specular Navy sea blue, blue-gray, which they used. Then they went to intermediate blues. Then they went to dark sea blues after that, and as the war tailored off to the end. This here is a 1936 PT-17 Stearman, and a scale of 1/32. It's a beautiful kit. It's probably $3 on Revell now, or ICM. I thought this was an ICM job, but it wasn't. It's a Roden kit. I should have known better from the other post videos I had on it. Now, like I say, all this airplane, the motor's all been painted on this thing. All I do is pop that motor on, paint the tires, get the tires on there, mount the wings. I've got the interplane sets all painted. the Velvet Airbrush blue, using Curtis blue. This is the blue I use. I think I use this as, is it Mission Models? This game color? No, Vallejo. Curtis blue. Then I use this gold yellow on the wings, tail surfaces. These are pretty true colors to the actuality. I started to paint this thing overall all yellow, start making navy ship out of it. I said, no, let's go ahead and do it like it is in the box. Use Curtis blue and chrome yellow. I got to add some varnish to this before I cement it together. It's going to be a factory fresh, real clean Stearman. I may add a couple of washes here and there to enhance a few details. But it's on this downhill slide of being finished. This is a nice kit. It goes together by itself, but the interior details is time consuming. I mean, very time consuming. And you got to take your time. I painted this last night. I think the night before I expire, I'm going to go ahead and give it about 4 or 5 good coats of varnish on this thing. Make it shine like a brand new penny. They have my decals last. Probably do that tomorrow night. Along with this beautiful looking Stearman, I'm still working on my, I found out this was an Academy kit. It was $3 under Hobby Model. This is my 1/48 scale Peashooter. I got the interiors inside there painted all natural aluminum. I got the insert panel all painted in there. Got the headrest all painted. I got to put tissue in there. I'm going to shoot a color primer on this thing tonight. Get a good coat of primer. This is the second time I built one of these. The first one I built, this thing brings me back to 1956. It's when this kit by Aurora came out. It was this. It was molded in colored plastic. The tail planes and the rudders, the rudder and tail planes were all molded in yellow plastic, and the wings were molded in yellow plastic, and the fuselage was molded in blue plastic. Even the spats, the undercarriage, was molded in blue plastic. So they did actually a monogram job. Have colored plastic. All you gotta do is paint a little bit and put the decals on and have fun. This right here came out in 1932. This is Boeing, the same aircraft that made this one here. This is the Boeing P-26 Peashooter, pursuit craft. This aircraft was actually, I would say, more or less obsolete before its time. It came out, it was issued in 1931 to the Army Air Corps, and the pilots loved these things. These things have a Wasp engine, and they have a lot of kick-ass to it. They're started by a hand crank. Fellow stands over here. Actually, we'll do it this way. On the port side of the aircraft, there's a little door right there. They pull that little hatch over like that inspection cover over. There's a hex head fitting, and he'll go in the pilot's department and give him a crank and take that crank. He'll be standing on the wing, and while he's cranking, you hear almost like a siren. Then when it's engaged that sound, you pull out your crank, you push that button, and boom, it will start up. Then you hand the pilot back to the crank, take the crank and give it back to the pilot. Close the inspection panel, lock it, make sure it's secure, hop off the wing, and this thing will take off. These are very maneuverable and very fast, but they were obsolete. They had 2 .30 caliber machine guns right here. One shooting here. You can see them sticking up beyond that firewall, right about here and over here. Ain't no filler on this thing. I ran out of filler. I used plenty of water and Joy soap and a wet and dry sanding stick that I made. And I sanded the hell out of this thing. As I sanded it, I got all these seams all flush. Everything is flush on this thing. So I believe one coat of primer will fill the bill of this thing. Then I go ahead and paint this color here. I'll have this done next week. So you guys be looking forward for the video. I had not made a video of this yet. I just gave you a few snippets of what's on the bench right now. This will not be the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. These airplanes were not used in 1940-41. They were gone. By the closing of the 1930s, they were bingo, they were gone. Some went to museums. Some went private collectors. And just most of them were just scrapped. They just got rid of them. And Boeing had better game, better aircraft to build. This actually was Boeing's first monoplane. I got that going. To my horror, to my shock, as I was building all the sub-assemblies, this is the cowling that goes on the front end. I lost this. This kit was 100% all there. It must have fell out in one of the plastic bags. I didn't see it. I 86 that bag. That bag's been gone for about 4 days now. It's in the refuse department by Rumpke out there in Dayton, Ohio. I ain't going to go out there and dig through a bunch of trash and find something that I ain't going to find there. I decided, what the hell, I got me some sheet styrene and maybe a new cowling half on there. Then I'll go ahead and add some filler right here. Went out and bought me a fresh tube of Bondo glazing putty. This is my best filler of choice and favorite. This stuff can be sanded in a light coat, so you can sand this up within 10 minutes. The worst filler I ever used was stuff called Green Magic. And I kid you not, that stuff takes 24 hours for that stuff to dry. You know how it is. You put filler on something, you sand, you prime, you see imperfection again, you got to get it out. You put the Green Magic on there again, and it filler the seams like I'm starting to on this now with my new Bondo putty I got. And you'd be waiting another 24 hours to sand it down. It takes too much of time. So anyway, what I'm getting at, I made me a new cowling. Using the old piece as a master. I traced it out over a sheet styrene. I beveled the front end. And if I believe right now in my heart and soul, in the light labor of about an hour and a half to build this thing, if I found it laying on the floor, I would not use it on this. I'd throw it away. Because this thing is almost identical as the kit's. I got that going, and their Wasp Engine they used. I got that all painted. I haven't got that painted up all the way. I got the front end painted right there. The paint cylinders were airbrushed with flat black. They went dry, and I dry brushed it all out with polished aluminum. Now I got the exhaust manifolds, exhaust pipes, stacks that come out. As you can see, all the gray's got to be painted. I'm not finished with this motor yet. I still got to add a wash on it. That's the completion of how far I got in the P-26, so I have that done. I should have this done probably by, what is it? Friday, Thursday? Either Friday or Saturday I should have this thing done. And by Sunday I'll have my P-26 done. So this is my second entry for Charlie Max. I went ahead and just entered this. And it's closer to being done than an OS2U Kingfisher. The next week, by Monday, I'll hop back on the Kingfisher and butt up the fuselage and get sub-assemblies on there and go ahead and prime the airplane, get it ready for painting, and then make a video before I apply the final color. Okay, we'll bring the video back to us truly here. It's a beautiful airplane, guys. It truly is. A novice shouldn't have no problem at all building this thing. It's tedious with the interior, but take your time. Like I mentioned about 3 minutes ago in the video. Just take your time. Model building is a time-consuming hobby. It's not made to do something like you did when you're about 4 or 5 years old, slap together a tube of glue and you're outside playing with it. And so the cost of plastic nowadays, you at least want to get your money's worth by taking your time. I dug this out of the closet a while ago. This has been haunting me. And I'll show you my gift my daughter got me before we close the video. A lot of you remember this one. All of you remember this one. I'm building this thing right now. Not right now, though. This kit's been superseded by Hong Kong models. This is the 148 scale Lancaster. I think I started this about a year ago in the trailer. I got filler, I got to sand all this filler off here. And I got a lot of dry fit. I got two, the kit gives you 2 Merlin engines. So I got 2 cowlings here that'll open up, reveal the Merlin engines. Now this is an old 1978 Tamiya kit. This kit, in 1978, retailed at a price of $19.95. It was one of the most expensive kits there is in the market price ranges that day. Just to verify, not to verify, but to compare prices. By 1977 or 78, you could buy a Monogram B29 for $12. $10 and $12 was a top shelf fee for a modeling. This came out back in actually it was being designed by the Tamiya Model Company in 1975 to answer to to Monogram's 1975 multi-million-dollar release of the V17G they produced. So they say, hey, we can do better. The Yanks build a B-17, we'll make a Lancaster, and they did. Let me tell you a story about this Lancaster I got in my hand. This is the second one of the Lancaster B-1 bomber, not the special dam buster. I built about 3 of them, 3 148 scale Tamiya dam busters. I got one that's complete, just like this here, boxed up in my storage facility. It was molded in black plastic, wasn't molded in gray like you see here. I got it from Archer's Hobby World. It's one of the world's first mail-order house. Well, Bob Archer sent me the kit down, came to my house, the door. I got off work, there it was sitting on the porch. I knew what it was. I was very excited. Well, again, to my horror, when I looked at the kit, the wing was warped. There was no way of taking out that warp. Boy, was I peeved. I got a hold of Bob Archer. He says, send the kit back to me. He sent it back to me, and guess what? I got a new kit from Tamiya, and I got another one from Tamiya. 2 new kits just like this. Man, was I happy in the pink. So I got this coming. So I probably got this shaking. I'll probably be building this probably later on next year sometime, very early. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. It's too expensive. This thing cost me about $100. Now I found out that Hong Kong Models made one 148 scale, which is a very beautiful kit. I love it, their 148 scale job. Just get to overlook the pen marks if there's any there. We can't be that picky, you know. And it's just, maybe one of these days they'll find a way of getting away from that stuff. But anyway, they made a nice kit. And I love this little Tamiya 148 scale one. It's one of the first 148 scale Lancaster models ever made. So I got that coming down the road next year, which is right around the corner. Like next month. Okay, that's about. Oh yes, yes. Get too busy rambling. I've got to show you. I got this for my daughter. I guess she knows me better than I thought she did. She brought me this Trumpeter 1/350 scale, USS Indianapolis. The Mission of the Shark. This is commanded by the late great Mr. Timothy McVeigh, He was a whipping boy on this bad boy. Even Admiral Hashimoto of I-99 said at his court-martial, it would not make no difference if the man would have zigzagged or went a straight normal course. I had him in the bag. I could not believe my ears. I was ready to commit suicide because I'm going back to Tokyo with a full load of torpedoes. When I seen this demon, irresistible. And she did. They sunk her. Over 900 men were in the water. 3/4 of them were eaten by sharks. The sharks went nuts, eating all the dead sailors out there. And Mr. McVeigh, with this court-martial, that man took with him every shipmate aboard that ship, and he was receiving nasty letters from deceased sailors' parents saying how cruel, how mean he was for letting that Jap sink the ship like that. It wasn't the captain's fault. It was an act of war. The man did everything humanly as possible to follow orders in the rules of engagement. Zigzag, and that's exactly what he did. Admiral Hashimoto, even they had testimony of this man saying it did not make no difference at all. I had him in my sights, torpedoes los, and boom, boom, boom. And she went down to the bottom. I'm sorry. He felt sorry for the crew. What happened to him? It was an act of war. About 20 years after the war, they found Mr. McVeigh dead. He shot himself with a service revolver. And he found a toy sailor in his hand. That man went through a lot of crap over nothing. He was a whipping boy. Just like Admiral Kimmel in Pearl Harbor and General George Short. These guys are whipping boys at Pearl Harbor. They were charged for dereliction of duty. And there was a lot of faults at Pearl Harbor. I mean, the problem was you had an old captain that was trained to believe that all wars would be fought with battleships. He had no trust in naval aviation, no trust in the airplane or nothing. He figured that all wars would be fought over there. It's like the Battle of Jutland, battleship against battleship. But he was wrong. To my perspective, the only thing he failed about, if I was Admiral Nimble, I would use those PBY flying boats, those Catalinas. They've got a range of over 3,000 miles. And they can stay in the air forever. Have a 12-hour search, 24 hours a day around the islands, 150 miles out. I guarantee if one of those flying boats would have spotted those airplanes in the air, they can message back to Pearl. We got a flotilla of ships and aircraft coming right towards Pearl. And they had enough time to get the boilers fired up, get a shore party out there, get these guys aboard the ship as fast as they can, and get those things out of there. That's what I would have done if I was Admiral Kimmel. But the man was a retired, obsolete admiral. He believed all wars would be fought by battleships. And guess what? Over 4,000 people that were killed at Pearl Harbor, they paid penalty for that. Enough of that. Enough history. Anyway, make a long story short, I should have the final reveal for the Stearman probably by this Saturday or Friday, because I got music night tomorrow and everything else going on. And they got Christmas coming up in a couple days, and I'll probably have a Christmas video for you guys. Ain't too Christmas in here since my missus died. I've got no Christmas spirit. No more. I think it's over for me. But I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. And let's pray to God that we get our country back together again in the free world. Get this evilness out of here so we can be able to build more models and have fun without worries. Okay, that's enough of that jazz, guys. I gotta get hot. I gotta prime this little squirt over here and do some model building and then take the rest of the night off. Okay, this is Frankie Day for Frankie Day Models signing off. Always make mama happy. Always take care of the woman of the house. Give her a smooch once in a while. Tell her you love her. Take care of the little ones. Get kick crazy like Stu Avery says. Sit down, build some models. It's going to get cold outside pretty soon. And I hope you get everything what you need for Christmas. I think I bought myself enough stuff here for Christmas, and I'm still in shock over my daughter. Okay, this is Frankie Day for Frankie Day Models signing off, and we'll catch you guys on the next video on the final reveal for the PT-17 Stearman. This is Frankie Day signing off.